You're listening to Tusemezane Sasa podcast that is brought to you by Zamara Foundation, a feminist organization working towards reproductive justice. This space is going to be a space where we're going to have life-changing conversations around sex and sexuality and also the struggles of women. We're going to celebrate wins, but we're also going to talk about conversations that are deemed impossible, conversations around how the rise of anti-gender, anti-feminist, anti-nonsense groups that have come together to be able to bash issues around sexual reproductive health and rights. Welcome to this and join us in this journey of these life-changing conversations. I'm your host, Wamboy Kimani, and together with my other colleagues, I will bring you these conversations with Martha Kombe and Nancy Baraza. Welcome and keep listening and join us.
So buckle up, folks. It might be a little spicy, but we promise you a really exciting journey. Either way, it's going to be a vibe.
In this season, we are bringing you 10 powerful episodes where we'll be talking about feminist twins, feminist struggles, and the fight for sexual reproductive health and rights. In this season, we are going to unpack misinformation and disinformation while amplifying the intergenerational feminist leadership and feminist twins as well. So join us as we make the voices of African women and girls be heard through Tusemezane Sasa podcast. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Tusemezane Sasa podcast. We are so excited because this is our final episode.
Finally.
We've finally gotten to this moment 7 episodes later. And season 2 has been short of amazing. We've had amazing conversations with amazing feminists who are doing bold, audacious work within this space. And today we're just going to reflect on what it has been. And today I'm joined, of course, by my co-host who has been supporting this episode since this season from episode 1. So we've really had an amazing time with Martha.
Yeah.
And I think this episode would not have been, this season would not have been a success without the work that Martha has put in. So we really appreciate you. So probably before we just start this conversation, Martha, you can just run us through what your thoughts are on how this season has been.
The season has been, season 2 Tusemezane Sasa has been a journey. I can say there's 7 seasons because it has helped us. It has helped us evoke some of the emotions that we as feminists, Black feminists, African feminists, are facing currently when it comes to political landscape, when it comes to gender issues, when it comes to community, how we need, and when it comes also to the demographic of age, Gen Zs. So it was a whole rounded conversation that I hope people will really enjoy.
Yeah, me too. I just hope that people will like the episodes that we put out there, because from all the speakers that we've had, they've spoken from their soul, from their heart. And they are doing this work. They do this work every day. So it means that their reality is the reality that is there on the ground. I have seen from episode 1 when we did feminist advocacy, reimagining feminist advocacy, the new era of feminist advocacy with Elvin, it was really amazing to just see also the work that Gen Z is doing within the space, the work that Gen Z is doing within the movement. And then we also had conversations of feminist advocacy beyond binary. We had conversations around collective care. We had conversations around financing or resourcing the movement, and also organizing during humanitarian crisis. And all these conversations have just shaped how we see the movement, or how we continue to do this work. Because of this experience, because of this expertise from all these feminists and activists that have been in this space, we have been able to learn that there's no organizing without the sacrifices of women and girls. There's no feminist work without the realities of women and girls who we've brought to the fore within these conversations. So thank you so much, Martha, for being part of this conversation. And I also just like what you're sharing about, evoking emotions, and these conversations just being able to appeal to people's emotions and people's lived experiences. So probably also we can just share a bit more about just this year, of course, beyond the podcast as well. Tunaweza ongelelea, or we can speak about how we have seen the movement this year. Hey.
Me, I can say one thing that I'm reflecting on is the aspect of care and the definition of care when it comes to feminists, especially in the space.
Yeah.
Hardly do we really care about ourselves. We are service oriented, so we look at the other people, and also even when it comes to resources that we are given, it's never really given to care for us. And one thing I can say, applauding maybe for trying, Zamara, is allocating some amount of money to just host these small healing spaces that we see. But the definition of care really needs to be at the core center of people who are also providing these services, this information. Because to be honest, sisi tutachizi. If we keep on caring for others, we must redefine it. And I'm glad that we within the season, I think there was one episode that we really delve into that. I hope it will stir up more conversation about how the structure within our organizations, our institution, our entities are when it comes to care, and really looking at the core of the people behind the work.
Yeah, true.
What do you think?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, by the way. It's true. Because also in this, I think within this season, that care has been a consistent theme, like across board. Like no matter the conversation we've been having since episode 1 to episode 7, all speakers that have come to the show, they have spoken about care. They have spoken about why it's important for us to care for ourselves before we care for the movement. And I think for me, also on a personal level, I think this work cannot exist without care. I think initially, I didn't see that it's, care is a must or it's important. But then, the way this work is evolving, the way things are extremely difficult and the way things keep changing over time, then care becomes paramount. It becomes very important. And just as you've mentioned, that's why also at Zamara, we think that it's very important for especially young women or young feminists who are growing within this space, within this movement. They need to see a redefined way of doing this work. That you do not need to kill yourself, that you do not need to burn out for you to be applauded as you've done the work. You can care for yourself and still care for others. You can be able to also offload on the community as well. When you need to be held in sisterhood, then you can also ask for that support. And within this podcast and within this episode, within this season and in all the episodes, what I've seen is we continuously reference that. And to me, that has been a testament that this indeed is very important. And that when we continue to do this work, we must always, always, always think about what care then looks like. Because if we do not center it, then yes, cheesy. We'll run mad.
Hey.
And we don't want to do that. We're very young. We do not want to suffer this. We do not want to suffer because of the movement. Of course, we are fighting for the liberation of women and girls in all their diversities, but it does not mean that we have to sink ourselves to a point that we do not have a sense of identity.
True.
Just because we're doing this work. So, of course, for me, care is also very, very important.
And I remember when the year was starting, we had a lot of questions. One, why? Because it came to light that women's body are being politicized. Like sasa ilikuja openly. What do we do? And I'm glad that I think by then that's when we were crafting the Tusemezane discussions and conversations. It was scary in the beginning. It was very unsure how the temperatures were when
Yeah.
it comes to human rights,
Yeah.
women and children. I know it's also vague right now with what is happening within Sudan, Congo, and the rest, and the other parts of the world
Yeah.
when it comes to women's body.
Yeah.
But where we are here.
We had
I'm
made
glad.
it. Yeah,
Huh?
and we made it honestly. Because I think also, honestly speaking, we are always just jumping from one thing to another, one thing to another. There's no moment to just pause and let it sink in. So we always like within this space, we're always like you jump from one issue to another, to another, to another, and at the center are the lives of women and girls.
Yeah.
For sure. So it's very political and it's deeply personal for all of us. And even when you think that no, now you can pause and take a rest, it never comes and it never gets to a point where we can rest. And also, just from what you've mentioned, and I think when we were doing this when we were planning for, even within the first season, the episodes there were also just almost the same as this ones because
Yeah.
we were looking at the rise of anti-gender, anti-rights movements.
Yeah.
We were unpacking misinformation and disinformation. And we were also boldly speaking about feminist organizing in the face of anti-gender, anti-rights
Anti-gender, yeah.
organizing. It's still the same thing that we've had to deal with this year.
Yeah.
This year we saw the biggest Pan-African conference on family values this
Yes.
year. It was extreme. We did not know
in
what to do.
Kenya.
Imagine. We were like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah.
And then we need to be very strategic so that we also are not accused of defamation. Hey, this work is crazy.
Yes.
You think that now when those people, when the anti-rights groups were like, now this is what is real African values. And then it's white people who are saying that this is real African values. And we're Africans. We're Africans. We're the ones that know what real African values look like, right? And then they come and then they want to take over the whole, they want this conference to be very big. They want to invite people from the global north to come to Kenya and speak about what African values look like. And of course, there's work that is continuing. The reality is that when all this is happening, there's also work that needs to continue. There's work that
Yes,
needs to continue
definitely.
being done. Hey, you have to program for the girls and young women within the constituency of women and girls that you work with every day. As you're doing this, there's this that is happening. As you're doing this, there's the finance bill conversations. As you're doing this, laws are passed. Femicide, people are dying. Hey, by the time you realize it, the year has come to an end. You've just been hanging on by a thread. We've just been fighting things here and there. And then also funding landscape is very also unpredictable. We do not have resources for what you've said. Even like there's no resources for even care. There's no resources to support institutional strengthening so that you can stay afloat even when these things are coming. So that when probably you're hit by something that is difficult, that you did not foresee, that your organization can still stay afloat, you can handle it and still do your work.
Yes.
There's no support to do that. And I think this season has just helped us see the different intersections and facets of this work. That there's no one way to programming. There's no one way to doing this work. You'll think you have your work plan in order. You'll think you have planned for the whole year. But then you get to June, you realize a lot of things have happened. Women have been killed. You realize that women are not safe online. You realize that now there's no money to even do your work, and you cannot foresee what the future looks like. So, honestly speaking, I do not want to speak as though I'm hopeless here and there. But the struggle has been real. The struggle has been real. The struggle for liberation of women and girls is now it's very uncertain, but we continue to shake the world gently, Martha. We just try to make things work within the little capacities that we are able to do it. But then also, Martha, what do you see like are the things that you can say, this year has been tough, yeah, but we've done this. Like, of course, also because also I know with this work that you also do as well, you're exposed to so many themes around sexual reproductive health and rights.
Yeah.
Probably kuna vitu zenye, there's things that you've seen that you're like, probably I
It's a
think
win.
here we've done well. Here we've done well. Yeah. What are those things that you can share?
One I can say is that for the longest time, women, sorry to say, sorry. Najua kuna watu utasikia tu women block.
Get out.
Yeah, for the longest time, by the way, we've been surviving systems. By that I mean, system was created for the men
Of course.
to survive.
Yeah.
Right now, that's why women in workspaces, women suffer.
Yeah.
In like ukiangalia tu all the system, if you look at all the places, the different facets of life, women suffer most. And that tells you how the system was created, who the system was created for. So one thing I can say, despite all this, I can say that we've been able to thrive within the patriarchal system. And I'm glad that many women right now are coming out. I think, was it January 2024, we were able to come out for femicide, to hold hands. I think also on May, we were able to commune with our South Africa siblings on supporting them on making femicide something that needs to be had, right? An agenda that needs to be actioned about. In Kenya, I can say one of the wins, it's still a win, I can say, is the health insurance. It has been a little better as compared to the previous years. Health insurance, the public health insurance. Right now we see cancer, cervical cancer being part of the package. We're also seeing mental health being part of the package. So it's something that is shifting slowly, but favoring us more. When it comes to education, we've seen policies, some policies really tightening the implementation of making sure that a girl, even if she's pregnant, she needs to go back to school. So the schools are being put at the corner, like they need to report how many girls have returned to school. So that is a thumbs up, I can say, when it comes to feminist wins this year. Yeah, most of it has been policies, but unfortunately we can't have policies without implementation, good implementation. We're still at that, but the first step, a win is a win.
Yeah, a win is a win.
A win is a win.
Yeah. True, honestly.
What do you think is on your side? On your side, not from what I've said, but what I've left out. I know I've left out a lot so that you can.
Me, I got
you.
Hey, so I think one, I'll start probably at the organizational level and the work that we've been able to support the movement to do. This year, we've done some more. We've done bits of good work. Yeah. So I think from the policy processes, the UPR process, the Universal Periodic Review, we were civil society, especially who work around sexual reproductive health and rights, were able to submit a report. Of course, we did not receive very positive feedback in terms of the noted and accepted recommendations, but then at least we are seeing that the state is at least, seeing the importance of, investing in sexual reproductive health and rights for women and girls and for all young people in their diversity. So that is a win. This year as well, there was, of course, I've spoken about the Pan-African Conference on Family Values. Of course, it was challenging, but then what I really loved the most about this one particular conference is that we did not feel hopeless. We knew that this is coming. We need to organize. We need to mobilize, and we were able to do it. You remember,
Yes.
like us coming together for the caravan, doing the billboards, sharing messages, and trying to change public perception or public discourse around families or what a family looks like. African families are very diverse, and we were able to also show that our families in Africa are just ours. It cannot be imposed on us what a family should look like. We cannot have Western-centric values on what a family looks like. So we're able to do that very beautifully beyond the movement. And we saw this conversation cascade beyond the physical to the online spaces. Of course, there were misogynists, there were anti-gender people who are like, a family should be, father and mother. And all of you that do not have that family set up. So if you have a mother and you've been living with your single mom in a house, so that is not a legit family. So those conversations were also had online. And at least, even though the conference happened, we were able to build public support. We were able to build public discourse around what real African families look like. Beyond that, we've been able to also come together and heal. At least that is something that I think is very important at such a time as this. That we're able to heal, that we're able to bring each other together, that we're able to hold each other in solidarity. It is not so much because the struggles of organizers are very huge. They're very broad. But just by the fact that we are able to come together, that we're able to commune, that we're able to hold space for each other, it means that we can be able to build solidarity. We can be able to build sisterhood, Martha.
True.
So for us, then this means that we are growing a movement of people who value and respect what care looks like. So for me, that is a huge win. The reproductive health policy 2022-2032. It was not a big win, but a win is a win, as we've said. At least, just accepting the different areas within the Constitution that abortion can be accessed and affirming that is a right, that was a win for us, and that women and girls do not have to risk their lives. They do not have to die due to abortion complications.
Yeah.
We have the PAC guidelines that have really helped women and girls to be able to receive post-abortion care. In this country, that has not been a conversation, honestly.
It has never.
But the fact that at least this is something that can open the doors for women and girls to access post-abortion care, will not have women dying from post-abortion complications. Because the laws, the way they are not aligned, then it means that it risks the lives of women and girls because they do not know under which provision they can be able to access this abortion services. So for sure, that has been a win. Also, I think one thing that I have seen within, or that I've witnessed within this movement as a young woman or as a young feminist that is coming up, is the ability to hold intergenerational learnings. We've seen, some older feminists hold space for young women. We've seen some, older feminists or feminists that have gone ahead of us to pave way for us to be able to do bigger and better things for the movement. And most of the things that I've mentioned would not have been possible if we did not allow for young feminists to be able to lead this change.
True.
It would not have been possible if we do not allow, other, women, young feminists within different spheres. Talk of, Kina Namlonde who are in Kellen doing litigation, who are always in court. Those of us who are doing programming, those of us who are doing advocacy, those of us who have been part of the drafting of the UPR reports, those of us who towards the end of last year were part of drafting the voluntary national review reports for the country. All this is very good work, and nothing would have been possible if all of us did not come together to share learnings, to share wisdom, and hold fort within our different capacities. So I think that has been a win, of course, just in addition to, Martha, what you've mentioned in terms of health systems, beyond the movement. we do this work because we want women and girls of Kenya, women and girls of Africa to be able to access health
Definitely.
in its entirety, that they can go to a facility, they can seek services and they can get services, that they can exercise their full autonomy, their full bodily autonomy. They can have a choice, they can have the agency to decide what it is they're doing for themselves, for their bodies and for their lives. And until we get there, I think we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
But then as we are looking forward to that, we are also celebrating the milestones that we've made as we're building onto that future where we are hoping that women and girls can enjoy to the fullest their sexual reproductive health and rights.
Yeah.
We just hope that it
yeah.
gets there.
And speaking of nurture, for the longest time we've been fighting about getting this information, gender issues, sexuality education, life skills in school.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the skill-based curriculum is actually for that. So it really looks at the young people wholesomely, and I'm loving that. That's an absolute win. Maybe one gap, maybe we can foresee a risk when it comes to implementation again, is the value system that the teachers have, the value system that the school culture has. So that might limit how this curriculum is being implemented, especially the gender life skills information onto the kids. So, but when it comes to policy and systems, it has catered for not completely, but very well as compared to the previous education system.
Which is very needed for sure.
Yeah.
Because comprehensive sexuality education is just the backbone of how even we have gotten here at this point. If you do not know your body, even your body changes. Like you don't know anything about even your first, like you'll not even enjoy your first sexual experience when you get older. You'll not know also, even without comprehensive sexuality education, you do not even know what abstinence means, right?
Yes.
So when most of the time when the value-based messaging or the value-based programming around CSC usually just thinks that it's about grooming children to probably start having sex, probably to lead to early sexual debut. But in reality, honestly, it helps even delay sexual debut.
And there are research to back it up, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because CSC does not just mean that you are taught about having sex, how to have sex, and things like that. And that is also the reason why conversations around contraception, contraceptions around sexuality, they are not also, even as you grow older, they are not pleasure-based. They are preventative.
Yes.
So instead of speaking about prevention in a pleasure way, in a way that speaks to your reality, for instance, we are trying to prevent HIV diseases. The photos that you're shown is just of people who probably have had extremely negative outcomes on extremely negative sexual outcomes. So the way comprehensive sexuality education in school is done frames how you get even into adulthood. It frames how you decide to either go on to deciding to delay your sexual debut, deciding to abstain, or deciding to have sex in the first place. So within comprehensive sexuality education that is value-based, the way you've mentioned, which I know is what we've been, at least myself, is what I've been taught like my whole life. There's value-based, which is based on, religion, and it's not based on the reality of who you are as a young person within the school. It then means that will not work, because when we are growing older, we'll grow older, and now we do not want to just have sex or we're not just afraid of getting pregnant. We probably want to have sex for pleasure.
Yeah.
Or we get to a point where we want to have conversations around probably our body, what kind of contraception we should take, what kind of even condoms that we should use, for instance. And when we get there and we realize that we actually do not even know what we actually like in terms of like what gives us pleasure. Because also contraception, for instance, you'll know if you need to use either studded condoms or ribbed condoms, or you'll need a lube probably.
Yeah.
You'll need to make this sexual experience better as you grow up. The information that you had only ended at abstinence. If you have sex, you'll get pregnant. If you have sex, you'll get STIs and you'll die. That is it. But now when you get older and you realize that is not true, you do not know where to start and you do not know where to begin, at least for my experience, honestly. And I think if these conversations were had in schools, and if the life skills and the school health programs, which are now in school, were speaking to the reality of where I was at that point, I would know, I would have clear information so that even when I decide to have sex in future, then I know what actually this looks like, what penetrative sex looks like, what oral sex looks like, right? And we are able to mold a society that is very aware of their bodies. They are aware of the choices they are making about their bodies. And one thing that is very important is giving information gives people it gives people the choice and the autonomy to decide what it is they want to do with their life. You've given them all the options. You said abstinence. When you abstain this and this, you prevent yourself. You 100% prevent yourself from getting HIV. You prevent yourself from getting pregnancy and things like that. You give the option. You say, if you decide to have sex and you decide to have sex without contraception, then this is what this will look like. If you decide to have sex and you decide to have sex with contraception, this is what then this looks like. You give someone a choice to decide what they want to do with themselves, with their lives, with consistent information that they can be able to use even as they grow older into society. That is the kind of society we should mold ourselves into. And I think, just as you've mentioned, value-based messaging, it does not work if it does not speak to the values of the people that you're trying to speak to. If it does not speak to their realities. And when they grow older, they feel like you lied to them. Now me, I'm bitter at my life skills teacher because I should have known what penetrative sex is. I should have known how to name my private parts. So that when I'm getting older, people don't lie to me that this is how probably a vagina should look like, and that mine is abnormal because it looks a certain way. And this is information that we didn't get. And we stigmatize our bodies. We do not love our bodies. We have very low self-esteem, and they ruin our life. You see. So I think it's just important to meet each other at our point of need in terms of the information we receive. What do you think about how messaging is framed for us, especially as young people who are getting into adulthood?
That's a little complicated because it's the same as the generation. Like, was it the first one of the episode? We were discussing about Gen Zs. Gen Zs are really coming out openly, but millennials, I am a millennial. We were a bit conservative because not because we were cool. We are cool, more cool. No, it's because we were denied information. We were denied, as in the narrative that we had was totally different as compared to what you guys have now. And that's a privilege, I can say, that we fought. We fought for you to eat the food.
To enjoy. So you crawled so that you can. You crawled so that you can walk.
I can say when and just looking at also the celebration, when it comes to women's body, a lot of research have been done this year. When it comes to like how really our uterus really look like. And the aspect of how to cervical cancer, how to
kupima, the pap smear things. This year they've at least we have that information more.
There are new tools to actually test for that. Which are really easy. I don't know why they used to
the tumor they insert the tumor inside of your vagina. It's very painful.
And after the test you have to take 1 day nyumbani.
because it's too painful. You cannot even move. And
Yeah.
and like I'm wondering why research on women's bodies takes so much time. Like for us to know that we can be even like the intensity of menstruation, the periods and things like that. Like we've been thinking it's normal, but then now research shows that it's not normal.
It's
that
not
you
normal.
when you feel pain, you need to go and seek advice.
Imagine.
But then we've been just here kisoja. We tag it. We continue to move through it. We go through life with it.
And
I
the
think this year,
disparities, by the way, it's even more when it comes to now a white woman and an African woman.
Tell me
Because
about
more
it.
research have been done on white women.
Yeah.
So that now we are just receptors.
Yeah. So, and then it's assumed that it will work for us as African women and girls. That's crazy.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
At least this year more research are being done on African women, women specifically, on our reproductive health. So it's a win globally, I can say.
Yeah.
That we need to also applaud.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can go on and on. The episodes have been amazing.
Very.
I think as we are coming to the end of this closeout, like we are hoping that this is not the last one, that we'll have these conversations a bit more. So I'll just start, but then we can share about what we foresee for the movement, what is our hope for the movement, and how do we hope that the movement can grow and evolve over time. So probably I'll just start. For me, I think what I've seen is that we are continuing to evolve. The changes are happening, though slowly but steadily. As we continue to shake the world gently, we are making some changes, we're making some strides. And I foresee that the movement will be even bolder and stronger, and that we will be fierce in how we speak, especially for us as young women who are coming up within this movement. I have so much hope for us. I have so much hope for the kind of life that we'll build for ourselves and also for the movement, and that liberation will not be something that we can just dream of. It will be our reality. That we live in this world, and that we'll exist in this world with the boldness and audacity that we've been called to actually just live in. We'll be authentic, we'll be bold, and our programming will not be of survival. We are done with survival. Our programming will be one that centers our excellence, that it will center our growth, it will center how we are flourishing, how we are evolving. Our messaging, our communication will not be a hopeless one. We'll be sharing stories of resilience, of how we've survived, of how we continue to survive. So I'm just foreseeing a movement that will be bigger and bolder like that. And I'm hoping that the next seasons of Tusemezane Sasa will also capture these wins, and that will be able to speak more about how we have morphed over time and how we've continued to stand the test of time. Yeah.
On my side, and that was powerful. Yeah. Democracy. From my side, looking at now what the context is, both in Kenya, in Africa, and also globally. For a woman, I would say when it comes, we cannot choose to define what feminist is. I know there are some constraints when it comes to resources now. Resources resources makes us now to narrow down I can only focus on these women. I can only focus on women, this group of women. I cannot touch the community, the queer community, or the queer community can only focus on queer community
alone.
So my hope is, and I'll draw the strategy of the Gen Z Maandamano. We came together. We came together. And if we come together, regardless of any situation, we will find resources for us to take care of a woman wholesomely, regardless of who they are, where they are at what level of economy or knowledge they are. I'm hopeful that we can come together if possible. If we come together, what 1 shilling that you have, the 1 shilling that I have can cater for something holistically for this woman. And sustainably. So mine is only that. Let's not redefine, but continue on pushing the narrative of who a feminist really is. Because there are many flabbergasted definitions about who a feminist is, and this can really confuse young feminists in the space.
True. Thank you so much, Martha. That was powerful as well. And with that, Martha,
and with that,
we have finished this episode, but also we have locked it. We've closed out the season 2 of Tusemezane Sasa podcast. You've been amazing audiences. We've enjoyed communing with you, sisters, within the movement. We have loved on each other. Thank you so much for the work that you continue to do within the movement, within your capacity. Even just by helping another woman secure fare to move to CBD. If you've done anything for women and girls in their diversities, may the movement reward you.
Amen.
May the heavens reward you. So thank you so much for holding space for us. Thank you so much for being and listening to us this whole 7 episodes and this 8th one. And we do not take it for granted. And we hope that you'll go forth and be amazing, fierce, bold feminists. Thank you so much.
Feminists.
Yes, thriving.
Not surviving.
Not surviving, yes. Thank you. Bye.
You're listening to Tusemezane Sasa podcast that is brought to you by Zamara Foundation, a feminist organization working towards reproductive justice. This space is going to be a space where we're going to have life-changing conversations around sex and sexuality and also the struggles of women. We're going to celebrate wins, but we're also going to talk about conversations that are deemed impossible, conversations around how the rise of anti-gender, anti-feminist, anti-nonsense groups that have come together to be able to bash issues around sexual reproductive health and rights. Welcome to this and join us in this journey of these life-changing conversations. I'm your host, Wamboi Kimani, and together with my other colleagues, I will bring you these conversations with Martha Kombe and Nancy Baraza. Welcome and keep listening and join us.
So buckle up, folks. It might be a little spicy, but we promise you a really exciting journey. Either way, it's going to be a vibe.
In this season, we are bringing you 10 powerful episodes where we'll be talking about feminist twins, feminist struggles, and the fight for sexual reproductive health and rights. In this season, we are going to unpack misinformation and disinformation while amplifying the intergenerational feminist leadership and feminist twins as well. So join us as we make the voices of African women and girls be heard through Tusemezane Sasa podcast.